All right, YouTube. It's early Monday, the 4th of May, and may the 4th be with you for all of those who love the extended universe of Star Wars. And for those of you who want to see Disney ruin what used to be one of my favorite franchises, I'm sorry, I don't share your joy. What I'd like to talk to you about is how certain publishers and certain producers will try to lure you into a sense that their upcoming product is something you must have. These are just a few common sense tips. Well, first off, if their previous products are things you enjoyed before, obviously you're probably going to have a lot of anticipation for what may be coming down the pipe. I recommend seeing what they have to say about it. What direction are they headed to? Are the people involved with this product involved with things that you can get behind, or are they people that truly do not have the same values and interests as you do? Now, I ask this because there are certain people out there that they feel that no matter what might be popular opinion or the prevailing opinion, that the opinion they have is all that truly matters. And that's fine. People that are in that position are producing for love of the game, for love of the product, and not producing for the fact that it might be good. I have that opinion about the books I've written in the past because I thought they were cool enough for me to want to print because I wanted to have them written down. I thought they were neat ideas, and so I put about 130,000 words out in print, and it wasn't well edited, and I wasn't really too caring about it. I did not concern myself with getting an editor and making sure everything was well laid out, having the typeset produced properly. I just wanted it to be there. Nobody else that I grew up with had done such things, and I thought, no, I have to make my mark. Even if my mark is small and insignificant, I still did something that not many other friends of mine did. Now, a few years later, Disney bought Star Wars. And I was at first really happy about it, but then I realized they're going to start pumping out products in the Star Wars line that I might not enjoy. I wasn't a person to enjoy Return of the Jedi for two-thirds of it because it didn't really have a narrative that I enjoyed too much. I thought the Ewok scenes were boring as hell. I wanted Wookiees. And really, the Luke being a Jedi Knight seemed like it was kind of just abruptly shoved onto us. Yeah, he had only had one visit to Dagobah up to this point, and now he's a full-on Jedi Knight, showing up in front of Bib Fortuna. I didn't really get behind it. I couldn't get behind it. I was 8 at the time, and these are the thoughts that an 8-year-old have. Is that normal? Not truly certain, but that's what Lucasfilm was pumping out to us, and we were given this, so I had to go with it. I did like the scenes with the Death Star and Billy D. Williams and Han Solo, especially Han Solo. Probably should have had a little bit more hatred and vitriol during the Sarlacc scene with Lando, not knowing how Lando was going to react or act. But I've talked about Star Wars enough. Marvel Comics came out with some really good movies in the early 2010s, late 2000s with Iron Man and Thor, Incredible Hulk, and their movies were okay. They were good popcorn fodder. They're the type of movies that you want to watch with your family or you put it in while you're doing other stuff. Because after the first time you watch it, you've seen half the movies. If you've seen Iron Man, you saw, you definitely saw Doctor Strange and you've seen Black Panther if you watched Iron Man. And a lot of these movies follow the same beats and same manufacturing process in their narrative. So there's nothing really new under the sun until you get to like Guardians of the Galaxy and Ragnarok. And then, of course, Infinity War, which is probably the one I still watch to this day. And I still like watching Ragnarok and Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, mainly because Chris Pratt and Bradley Cooper just sell it. But I have to say that when they started doing the run up to Captain Marvel, I kind of got worried. And then I started hearing everything, and affiliates involved with the fandom menace started getting copyright strikes or beaten up on Twitter. The corporation started to really pummel these people on social media for how dare they not perform like the pay pigs they were before. Come on, can't you get behind Carol Manvers? And, you know, she's a real strong, independent woman. And nobody really did. Yeah, it made $1 billion. That's great. It was sandwiched between Infinity War and Endgame. And we were instructed that if you wanted to know the full story, you had to watch Brie Larson mannequin her way through this movie. I didn't watch anymore after Ant-Man and Wasp Part 2. I was done. I saw everything I wanted to see. The bad guy won. That's the narrative for me. I love good comics, and you know that. But we have all this garbage out there, and now the company that's behind this, Disney, was buying all these accounts, and we don't know what happened with the Captain Marvel movie audiences, but there was a lot of tickets sold that didn't get filled. Those seats, they were empty. Kind of worrisome. And then you draw lines between Fandango, Disney. There's a CEO over here at Fandango that he's good friends with Disney. He worked for them for a bit. So it wouldn't be too hard to have Disney be like, hey, we're going to throw you some money. Just shut up and just let the movies play. We're going to make sure this movie succeeds. And you might consider me a conspiracy theorist or whatnot, and I truly don't give a shit. It's the same way I feel about the World Health Organization 2 weeks ago trying to shout down Daniel Erickson because he's giving out his opinions he's gathered from his own medical center in Bakersfield, California. Going to dispute the guy's information. He's got his facts, he's got his figures, but because he doesn't line up with your narrative, thanks to the Communist Party of China, you got to shut him up. So now, still in the middle of the coronavirus, COVID-19 is the stupidest psyop I've ever seen. It's like we're watching some mid-70s, late 70s Robert Redford anti-CIA, anti-US government film play out in front of our faces. But instead of him playing the jackal, we get to see the government pretty much manipulate every mass media outlet out there in coordination with the WHO and with the non-affiliates of the Trump presidency. And all of this is going on. You have to wear your masks. You have to have social distancing. And just now, May 1st, we started seeing the states starting to shove off that pier. They'd rather go and do their own thing. Hey, we might have some more people get infected, but we're not going to have emotional discord because of economic flatline. And that's what we're talking about here. You're going to have some people die, and you can't stop that. Couldn't stop people dying before coronavirus. We're not going to be able to stop it after it starts up. Okay, that set of dominoes has already fallen. We can't stop it. But what we have is a whole situation where if we continue to stay shut down, we're going to cause families to become ruptured. People aren't going to be able to afford their rent, their bills, can't feed the kids. Power's not going to be on. Refrigerator's not going to cool things down. How do you expect a society that we have right now set up to function on these technological marvels that 150 years ago we didn't have. We're not going to be able to have these numbers of millions of people surviving. We're going to have millions of them die off. A lot of it in the coastal or in the non-coastal portion of North America because the infrastructure is not set up for that. We don't have the capacity to get everybody the items they need when they need them. We rely too much on electricity. We rely too much on our cold boxes. We rely too much on things like internet. Not going to happen. So, as brutal as that sounds, or as maybe oversimplified that might be to you, that is the truth of the matter. So, the states are finally starting to do their own thing. And just this weekend, the World Health Organization said, we're going to follow Sweden's example because Sweden said, we're going to continue to have things open. People try to social distance. Don't get stupid and carried away and shut down your livelihood. Don't shut down your pubs. Don't shut down your bars. But if you're sick, stay home. And they've kind of got this herd immunity thing going, which I was gambling on at the beginning because I'm an optimist. On the same weekend of May 1st, we had a leak from Naughty Dog. Sony's got a lot of money. They throw Naughty Dog because Naughty Dog makes a game for them called The Last of Us Part 2. And a lot of channels out there have been shut down with copyright strikes. And it's very interesting to see how, once again, big corporations are telling small media outlets and small independent creators to shut up and don't you dare pay pigs talk about how this might not be something you want to get involved with and pay for. You better fucking get involved with it. You better be able to play this and you better be able to stream this and get behind it and promote it. And how dare you not like it? And then we find out that Anita Sarkeesian, Shillmeister extraordinaire, if she was a black woman, she would be unstoppable. Thank God for the rest of us. She's ugly as fuck and olive skin complexion like myself. She's ugly as shit. And she gets involved with things and she's got the touch of death. If it's a product that's supposed to make money, Sarkeesian comes around, she graces her presence with it, and a few months later, dead. Kind of impressive, I think. But nobody gets behind her stuff because her message is poor. No matter what, if it's got any hint of LGBT qualities, make sure you promote it and choke out that cis white male conservative Christian. That's our Anita Sarkeesian. And she's not concerned about the quality of the product. She's only concerned about the message and the politics. So really, she's not the big, bad, evil guy in media games. She's just the hand puppet. She's just the one that's getting the friendly fisting from the people with all the money to make sure that she's able to broadcast her things. So no matter how poorly she performs and making money come into her funnel, she's going to get propped up until they find another Shillmeister extraordinary that ticks off some more boxes. You know, are you gay? Are you ugly as shit? Are you a 500-pound land whale with blue hair? And once they get that person, Anita's going to go to the back of the oven, and eventually she's going to put on the leftovers. And then some poor sap 50-year-old man, probably in Japan, who's been repressed as shit for like 20 years. I'm not talking about myself because I would not go to Japan to get laid. I would just go to Craigslist. Anyway, some poor sap in Japan is going to pay like 750 American dollars equivalent in yen or whatever they use over there and have the worst, most mundane vanilla potato salad sex possible. I give you a good time. She's involved with Naughty Dog. I'm not going to buy anything with Naughty Dog. Disney went out there of their way 2 years ago to start smashing independent creators about how terrible Captain Marvel is. And they're trying to prop it up like, no. The comic books suck. We've got a better idea. We're going to have a strong, independent woman. Comic books for Captain Marvel were badass. Monica Rambeau. That's a name you want to remember for reading a good comic book story about a young, strong minded minority woman who was raised by a single father. Read that saga. That's what you want to read. I don't know when it was done. It was like the 80s or early 90s. But that entire series, Young Rippa knows about it. Most of the dudes in the Phantom Menace, they know about it, especially drunk 3POs people. They're great people. That's what you want to read. You don't want to read shit about Carol Danvers. It's a boring ass Mary Sue saga, which parallels perfectly the garbage that was fed onto us by the Disney Star Wars. So, not running out of things to say, organizing final thoughts here. And as we go into the final portion of this little live stream here, just going to say, fuck you, Naughty Dog. I was going to buy Sony PlayStation 4 because the money's there. The money's there. And I could have bought the nicest system, the biggest amount of hard drive space. I was going to buy a former Liverpool Studios game. It used to be Psygnosis. It was Wipeout Omega Collection. I was going to buy it because I love Wipeout. That's my favorite fucking game series for any console. That's the one that I've spent more time with on anything. And I was going to catch up with it because I haven't played anything since the PSP1. And Sony got behind Naughty Dog and they threw a bunch of money at them to shut down and give copyright strikes to people just discussing it. Geeks and Gamers, Ryan Cannell, RK Outpost, the list goes on. This is bullshit. And fuck you. You want to play games like this? Enjoy not getting my money. Enjoy me going to a pawn shop and buying the weak sauce fucking PS4 and the pre-owned version of games I might be interested in. But I'll surely as shit not buy another fucking product you make brand new. I won't subscribe to your service because there's no reason for me to want to be involved with that, nor do I want to see you be able to pay your bills. Fuck you. Anyway, everybody have a good night.